Yeah, we're gonna take about, let's see, there's a quarter size. We're gonna do about 2/4 size. Let's do 3/4 size. Okay, so we got 3/4. And then we're gonna take about a pea size of red. This is gonna be enough to cover the whole background. I'm gonna take a wide brush. One little hair that's longer than the rest. Anyway, so we're gonna mix it all up. We're gonna make a very light pink. Hopefully it doesn't get too dark. Make sure to mix that up real good. Yep, give me a nice light pink. Yeah, I like that. Make sure you mix it up really well. Okay. Alright, so now we're going to start painting the background. And we'll go around the outlines here lightly. Should still be able to see them. But, you know, we'll go on a little thicker everywhere else, but then right when we get about there, we'll just kind of thin it out a little bit so we can see everything when we go back in with the other colors later. Okay. This is why you want to make sure that you mix really good, because right there I saw a little red pop up. Yep. Okay, so I'm just gonna, as my paint thins out, I'm gonna do around the edges here. Pick up any little loose strands of hairs that come off of the paintbrush. Remove those. Now normally, if I wasn't recording a video, I would pick this up and do the bottom and everything. But, you know, I am. So, just gonna do the best I can to show you guys what I'm doing. So I still have enough. This is a 16 by 20 canvas. So the amount, the 3/4 size globs of the white seem to have worked with a little pea-size bit of red to make this light pink. Because I just have a little bit more to go here. And it looks like I have some extra left on my plate. So I think I'm gonna make it Let's see if it stretches for me, and I think that it will. Okay. Now you can always go back in here, you know, with another layer, if you, especially like if you like to add more texture and things, you know, just make it a little thicker. But for this, for the video purposes, I'm going to just leave it with a thinner layer of paint so you can get the overall idea of how to paint this, okay? Here's another little hair. Okay, so we'll remove that. All right, so now we've got our first thin layer of the background. Hold on. Let's see, I've got my, there we go. All right, and we can still see the lines pretty good. I guess I could have done it with a magic marker also, so it could have really popped through a lot better. But I kind of like it like this. So we'll try a magic marker on the next one and see how that goes. I just don't want it to be too dark. And I had an experience one time with a marker, just like a regular Crayola marker, where I drew on the canvas and I painted over, and for some reason, no matter how much I painted over, like I think it might have been white that I was trying to paint over the marker lines, no matter what I did, that marker would still just shine through the white. It would come through. So I'm a little reluctant to use any markers like that, but we'll see if a Sharpie works next time. I forgot to get in here. You got to get in the inside of the skate also. There we go. I could do that with a smaller brush, but just being lazy right now. I don't want to get up, so I'll just use what I'm using. And I'll use the corner edge. It seems to work okay. And I had exactly the right amount of paint that I needed to get this canvas covered with the background color. Okay. Awesome. Right, so next step is going to be painting the skates. Okay, testing, testing, yes. All right, so for this next step, I'm actually gonna use the same plate that has the pink left on there, because I don't mind it having a little bit of color from the background mixed in. Now I'm gonna try to make a little bit more of like an orangey, maybe like a salmon sort of color. So I'm just gonna use probably less than a pea size even of yellow, like just a tiny dot. You know what, I'm gonna use a pea size. I'm gonna use a pea size because I have 2 skates to do, so I'm gonna try to make more than enough, a little bit more than enough paint. So let's say a pea size of yellow. We're gonna do a pea size of orange, I'm sorry, red. Okay, and then we're going to use quite a bit of white. So let's say a quarter, let's say 2 quarter size dollops. Okay. I never wear the right clothes to paint. I'm in my workout clothes right now. And this is how I always ruin my clothes. So normally if you see me, I have a little bit of paint on everything I'm wearing. So anyway, see the difference between that pink and this one? This one's kind of a warmer salmon-y color. All right, I think that's good. I'm gonna start off with this brush because I just randomly picked up this brush. Yeah, so let's start off with this one. And I like it. See, the thing is, what I notice, I'm not a professional painter or anything, but what I notice when I see paintings that I like is that there's a lot of shades involved. So it's like, if I see something I like, let's say it's kind of like pink tones, there's like 3 or 4 different shades of pink in there. You know, there could be some reds, there could be some pinks, light pinks, you know, but it's just like different shades of the same color.
and that's what I tend to gravitate towards, so that's why I decided to do it this way. So we'll see how this turns out. Like I said, I'm not a professional painter, I'm just trying something. And that's what I encourage everybody to do, is just try something. Okay? So, I like that color so far. And I went over a little bit, but that's okay, because I'm gonna go over that with a different color. Maybe another shade of pink. So let's go here and try to follow the lines, the outlines. And since I did like a thinner layer of paint closer to the lines, it's already dry. And that's kind of the good thing about acrylic, is that it dries up pretty quick. So that could be positive or maybe a negative in some people's cases. So, oh, what I noticed about this one is that I didn't have the same line that I did on my other skate, so I forgot to draw that in. So we'll just kind of draw a little guideline in there to try to not go over anymore. Okay. I'm just trying to go by these lines, trying to stick with them if I can see them. Yeah, I think I might have to go over them with a darker color next time. I think it'll help me out a little bit. All right, so now I'm just gonna go over it just a little more so it's not so thin. And I can always go back over and do this at the end, but since I'm here now and I've got the paint ready to go, why not? Sometimes I just like to be really careful and just kind of do like a rough draft, even with the paint. I'll do kind of like a rough draft of things, and then like I like to go back over it later. See, I could leave it a little gloppy like this and that would add texture, but I'm going to thin it out, spread it out so that it is not so textured. Now I'm using a really big brush, and I could probably, it'll probably be better for me to use a smaller brush, but it's okay. I think I'm good there. Okay, I'm gonna switch brushes. I keep talking about it and not doing anything about it. So here's a small brush. I go in here. That kind of helps me out with the edges. And we'll see if this pink stands out enough from the other pink, or if I actually want to make it a little darker. Because that's where my brain's going right now. Like I said, I'm no art major or anything, but something is telling me, you know, your pink in the background is a cool pink, and this one is a warm pink. And I'm questioning if that works or not. But you know what? The best thing to do is just keep going. Because at this point I could say, oh, I don't like it, you know, and quit. Or I could say, oh, let me start over on a different canvas. But I'm not. I'm going to keep going and then see how it all turns out in the end. And then I will adjust if I need to. But I think I'm good for now. Okay. So what I think I'm going to do next, just to let that pink settle and dry a little bit more, is do the white here, which I'm going to make that a little bit off white. Just a little bit. by adding, probably just add like a tiny bit of brown to it. Just a very tiny spot of it. Okay, we're gonna go in with the white here. I don't know what I wanna do here yet. We'll see. Okay. So I'm gonna do about a quarter size dollop of white. So we don't need that much. And then I'm going to do just a little drop of brown. I'm gonna mix that up. Okay. It's just slightly off white. Make sure you mix it really good. And that should be enough for both fluffs on top of the skate. Okay. Good. There we go. And this one, I kind of liking the texture on this one. So I might just leave that those little globs there of texture. I like it. So I'm leaving it. Not that much though. Here we go. Yeah, I like that. Make sure you really cover those outlines. There we go. I'm liking it. Okay, so first I'm going to kind of go over with a thin layer. Make sure you get it all like really covered in here. And those glops, I can move them around in a moment. Yeah, because I just want to make sure that the color is actually covering. There we go. There we go. Yeah, I'm happy with that. It's almost a very, very light shade of pink, but it's really off-white, you know. It's like, it's the brown, but it almost looks a little pink. But you know, brown is made with red, so I'm probably right. Okay, so there we go. Now, this is where I'm gonna take out my color wheel because we got a couple shades of pink, almost like a third shade of pink in there. And I want something to really like be different. You know, I want it to contrast the pink just a little bit, but still be complementary. So let me grab my color wheel over here. We've got, let's see. So we've got red because pink is in the family of red, but I'm gonna go to orange because really this is more orangey. So according to this wheel, I can take the complementary colors would be here. Let's put it over here actually, right there. So the complementary colors, it could be straight across. It could be a blue or something in the family of blue, which I love this blue here, but maybe like a lighter shade of it. Or I could go triad, which would be any of these colors. So like a purpley, something in the family of purple or something in the family of green. I'm already going to use green for the little holiday plant sort of things that are going to come out of here. And also on the candy cane. So I'm going to save the green for that. So I think I'm going to go with a blue. And I think what I'm going to do is go with a very light shade of blue. So these are the split complementary. So anything kind of like in this family would be good. And yeah, there we go. So anything pretty much in this family. I like this sort of blue. It's kind of like, I don't know, kind of a denim blue. Or this one here. Kind of like a sea foam, I think. Maybe like a periwinkle, something in between there. One of those funky colors, those little fancy colors. Okay, so we're gonna go with something like that. And I'm gonna go ahead and create that color. I don't really need the fluff color anymore, but I will use some of that off-white that's in there. So I'm gonna put a little bit of blue and a little bit of green. I'm really gonna go light on this, so a pea size. And I'm gonna do the same. I'm just experimenting here. So I'm gonna put about the same amount of green. Maybe just a slight little bit less, so. All right, we're gonna mix these colors together and see what happens. That's kind of my motto. Just see what happens. Just do it and see what happens. I'm gonna use one of the same brushes that I had before, because I don't really like to leave my brushes sitting in the water. This might be kind of big, so I'll leave that over there to dry. I'll use a medium to small size brush here. Just clean that off. This one had the off-white on there, so even if it has a little bit left, it's all good. But I am drying it, making sure that it's really dry. All right, so we see how much white I have and how much green and blue. And we're gonna take that and we're gonna mix that up nice and blend it, really nice and blended here. Wow, it's making a pretty color. Okay. Yes. Wow. Okay, okay. That's actually quite perfect. I'm gonna add just a little drop of white in there. Just make it a little lighter since everything else is kind of light. All right, so just a little drop. Okay. All right, I think I'm happy with that. So let's go in and begin. Okay. Okay, so as I'm doing this, I'm thinking to myself, maybe I should have done this part before the white, because the white is like a fluff that sits on top of the skate. And so it would have been easier for me to get in here and get all the way where I need to get, and then just cover it with the white. So we'll see what I can do. Let's see. Okay, so I cannot see my eye holes or my shoelaces in here whatsoever. So what I'm going to do is, I have a reference photo of when I drew this, so I will definitely go back to that. But yeah, otherwise it's just circle and line, circle and line, circle and line, circle and line. Okay. I might have to recreate the white fluff to kind of just hang over the blue. Otherwise it just looks kind of choppy there. It's the holiday season. You know, I'm not going to worry so much about these lines being like so solid on like the edges here, because what I like to do anyway, and maybe this is just me as an amateur painter, but I like to go in and like outline everything kind of like in white and things, so to make it really pop. So I'll add like highlights in there, which I'm still learning, but also outlining it doesn't hurt for me. I like it. So let's see. All right, we've got that covered. And then we're gonna go back in with the white to kind of fall over. But before we go back in with the white, I will do the eye holes of the shoelaces first, just so I can see where everything falls, and we'll just do that. Okay, so that's fine for me. We're also gonna add some shoelaces that fly around here. All right, so what do we need to do now? We need to do the bottom here. I think for the bottom, I'm gonna do a lighter blue, like a much lighter blue. So we're gonna add a good quarter size, and we're gonna go in there, mix it all up. I'm gonna go even lighter. So we're gonna go even lighter, maybe a dime size. Okay, I think that's good. All right, and I guess I will use the same brush. Now the pink should have dried by now, so we should be good to go in. Remember, different shades, right? Like shades of the same color, so that's why I like doing this. Just using the same color, but adding to it a little bit to either lighten it or darken it. It's just all in the same family as far as these blues go, and then the pinks as well. Okay. All right, so I'll go right there. For that little corner, because it's a little corner that just kisses it right there, I'm going to use a thinner brush with a point. Okay, I'm just going to use this one here. That way it's not so blocky. There we go. I gotta spread that paint out a little bit so it's not so gloppy. We'll be coming down the chimney. So leave a peppermint stick for old Saint Nick. Da 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 da. I don't know the words, but I love to sing anyway. Da 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 do 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 do. Alright, we're gonna go right there because that's where I'm guessing that it should have laid those lines. And lots of goodies for you and for me. So leave a peppermint stick for old Saint Nick. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Okay, that line may not be as perfect as the other one, but it's all good. Let's see. What can I do? I can... Yep. Anybody ever see the Cat in the Hat? Like the Mike Myers, is that what I'm trying to say? Yeah, I think so. That comedian Mike Myers? Why do I feel like that's like Jason or something? Or not Jason, but Michael Myers. Like the scary movie. I don't know. But anyway, the Cat in the Hat is one of my favorites. Like from 2000 and something. When my daughter was a little girl, we used to watch that all the time. And we would just crack up. So I think she was a little older, like maybe 10 or so, maybe 2010. All right, let's see. I'll set that here for a second and get that thinner brush out. Make sure it's dry. And lots of goodies for you. Oh, the reason I brought that up was because he always would say, not always, but he would, in one part, when they were asking him questions, he kept answering, nope. And that was so funny to me. The things that stick in your head and stay there on repeat forever, that's one of them. And lots of goodies for you and for me. So leave a peppermint stick. Okay. Alrighty. All right, we've got our lighter blue down. Doesn't look too different yet, but I think that's because it's drying, because this one definitely looks lighter than this one. And this one looks kind of the same. So as it dries, it'll lighten up a little bit. Okay, so I think what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna do the blade. I'm gonna make it a little grayish. Yep. Okay. So leave a peppermint stick for old Saint Nick. Ooh, I forgot I had a little Freaky Poo back here. A little gingerbread, iced gingerbread chai latte. Mmm. Yum, yum. All right, I'm gonna get another plate. All right, so I've got this much white, about a quarter size dollop of the white and a pea-size drop of the black. And let's see what sort of gray. It's already, looks dark. Ooh, that's pretty dark. So as you can see, a little bit goes a long way. I like it, but I'm gonna go even lighter. Yeah, even lighter. So we're gonna go in, let's say nickel size dollop of the white. Because remember also, I don't need that much. We're just doing this blade and that blade. Okay, I like it. That's good. All right, let's get in there. Get in there, yeah, yeah. I just was at a wedding this weekend and that song was one of them. Get in there. I think that's what they say. Yeah, yeah. Those songs are so fun. And lots of goodies for you and for me. So I'm kind of guessing because my line has disappeared. So oh, I can see the line now. So lots of goodies for you and for me. So leave a peppermint stick. I'm gonna get in there with a thinner brush to really line that up and shape it correctly, because obviously that's not the shape that we want. Da, 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 dee, dee. So leave a peppermint stick with old Saint Nick, and lots of goodies for you and for me. All right, let's see. How about a different song? Oh. Let's see. For a quick moment, I thought that I had left this blank when I was supposed to paint it pink, but that's not true. I was supposed to connect it here. And so I've done it now. So another song I really like, and I'm gonna shape this up to give it those little jagged edges in a moment. Probably gonna get in here with a smaller paintbrush to do the edges. Yeah, all right, that's just kind of an overall rough draft, if you can call it that. Another song that I really like growing up, I would listen by myself to Frank Sinatra. My dad had brought home some old, I believe they're called 45s, those old small records that he brought home from someone's house because he used to be a pest control guy. He had his own business, and oh my gosh, he'd go to these rich houses and they would just give him random stuff and he'd bring it home. Like one time he brought home a double oven. So yeah, and then that thing sat in our basement for 20 years. No lie, no lie. I'm not kidding. Okay. But the song that I liked was I'm a pauper, I've been a pauper, a prince, a pawn and a king, a pawn and a king. Okay, I know I'm not singing it right. I've been up and down and over and out, and I know one thing. Each time I find myself flat on my face, I pick myself up and get back in the race. That's life, that's life. And can't deny it. There's a little hair on this brush that's driving me crazy. All right, but really, I know I sang that wrong and I like butchered it, but when it comes on, I can sing it pretty well, in my honest opinion. Let's see. I know that goes out a little further. Yeah, let's line that up in a minute. Okay. All right, but this is the overall idea. I'm liking it, I'm liking it. And lots of goodies for you and for me. All right, I'm gonna go in with a smaller brush. Let's do it. Let's do these little points. La, da, 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 da. Perfect. So, oh my gosh, we're gonna have a snowstorm. I'm gonna come back in a moment so you don't have to be bored watching me do. Okay, so we are back and I finished up just kind of doing the edges of the blades and I flipped it over to do this bottom one that was on top before. I mixed my color up a little bit to make that off-white, remember, so I could go back in there and try to do the fluff again because I want to make sure that the fluff looks like it's over the tongue. And actually, that's a pretty good match. So, but I'll still go over here just in case it's slightly off. I kind of want to make sure that everything is the same color. All right. Okay. Yeah. There we go. We'll do the same thing over here. Just kind of go back over it. This was the skate that actually looked like the tongue was over the fluff more than the other one did, but you know, I'll just do everything for good measure. Okay, I'm happy with that. So we're good there. And I am going to say that I would like to go ahead and do the eyelets for the shoestrings next. Am I nervous? Yes. I sure am. But are we gonna do it anyway? Yes, we are. Do I want to do black? No. Was that my first thought? Yes. Since this is just all together, just kind of a lighter colored painting, I'm gonna stick with lighter colors. So I'm going to go with white for that. And I'm just gonna go right here on this dry side because I'm not gonna need a lot, maybe like a dime size of white, I think. And I'm not even gonna mix this. I'm just gonna use white. I'm gonna go in with a small brush. And I'm gonna make a circle. There we go. And just because I like to do everything kind of like a rough path first, I'm not gonna worry about them being perfect yet, or really at any point, because my goal is never perfection. It's just fun. Okay, so I've got 5. Okay, we're gonna go, I'm gonna flip my painting over. Be careful that you don't have like crazy color paints on your hands. Everything's dry, so I'm going to flip this over. Do the same thing over here. I'm gonna start low, right about this. Okay, I went a little high on that. Let's see if I can take it off. You know what? It's okay because I'm gonna make a shoelace that goes through there anyway. So I'll just use that little imperfection that way. And if I didn't want to do that, I had that blue left. Actually, I don't. That was the lighter blue for the bottom of the skate. So anyway, you just figure things out as you go. I could take a wet rag and I could wipe that whole thing off, but I don't want to because I'm just going to use it for my shoestring. Sometimes you already have the answers. Okay. 4. 5. I can breathe now. All right, let's see. I'm going to take it right up to the edge. Make sure this is not so thick that it starts to drip. There we go. So I'm going to go to the middle of that circle and flip it up. I think I'm going to start at the edge this time. Very good, Carol. Okay. I am loving this so far. Before I flip it over, I'm gonna go ahead and just go back over my circles and my lines. Okay, actually, because they're still a little wet, I'm just gonna let them do their thing drying. And I'm gonna come back over here and do the same thing. The girl is mine. The dark-eyed girl is mine. Mine, mine. No, 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 she's mine. doggone girl is nobody's. That doggone girl is her own. Right? Right. Okay. Let's come back to the other ones. I'm just going to go over it a little bit more. Oh, no, she's mine. 'Cause the doggone girl is mine. Don't go crazy, girl. Don't start going so fast and messing up your circles. Take your time. Take your time. Yeah. So, I really like how, even though this is 2D, when you paint, you actually think like in 3D. Because, for example, when I painted that circle over the shoestring, it didn't make sense to me. Now, when I painted that shoestring over the circle, it looks better. Why? Because the shoestring's actually coming out of there, you know? So, it's a little 3D. Okay. Okay, we're gonna leave this for now. Next up, we have the candy cane. The candy cane, which I'm going to do slightly green. So I'm going to do 1 drop of green in this white, this off-white that I have here. And we're gonna see what happens. Okay. So obviously I'm not gonna do the entire thing green. It's just gonna be some of the stripes, right? Oh boy, I probably need to add a little bit more white in here. No big deal. But I, of course, remember I wanna do shades of things. So it's just gonna be a shade of green, maybe a darker shade of green, a light shade of green and a dark shade of green. This is probably enough actually for some of it. Okay, and I gotta be careful because candy canes is every other line, so I cannot, you know, mess this up, okay? All right, so we're gonna start off here, green, light green here, Gonna go here, skip a line, da 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 da. Is that Inspector Gadget? Do 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 do. Da 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 da. I'm sure one of those is a classical masterpiece, and the other one is Inspector Gadget. I don't know what I'm talking about, and that is the beauty of me. But that's okay. I got this. I got this. That's good for the candy cane. And so, next I will say, okay, to me, this is going to be the scary part. This is where I'm going to add greenery coming out of these ice skates. And I'm scared, but we're just going to do it anyway. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off with the lighter color first, which is going to be kind of like the piney sort of leave things. And we'll see what happens. It's going to be light, but it's not going to be that light. As far as the green goes, we're going to go a little darker. So we're going to use the same cup that we've been using with the green. I'm going to go in with a dime size green. And 2/4 size dollops of the white. This is a beautiful color, but it is not what I want. Let's go make it more green. This, I like it. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go in with this lighter shade. And then we'll make it, we'll create a darker shade and go back in and do like shadows with it or something. I don't know what I'm talking about. Ooh, okay, okay. See, that's my problem. I doubt myself too much. Okay, so this is what I do know. That if I were to start from the stem out, it's going to be pointy out on the outside. I don't want it to be pointy, and it's also going to be like faded out, just kind of like this end is right now, and that's not what I want. So what I'm going to do, I kind of want rounded edges, so I'm going to start on the outside and pull it in. Kind of press, and then lightly ease up as you come towards the stem. This does not look what it looks like in this cup. It might just be the light above me. So, I get a little bigger and lighten up as I get to the ends. Loading my brush so you have kind of a dollop at the end. Yikes. La da 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 da. I tried something different there. Okay. All right. Dollop, dollop at the end. Bring it in. Bring it in, sir. Bring it in. No, don't overload your brush, because then it'll start dripping and you don't want that. Go a little bigger on that one. Okay. I'm not even going to get close to that white right now. I ain't doing it. All right, so now let's see if I can make this side look good too. Does not have to line up to the other side. I just got anal about it. It was not necessary. Okay, and now I'm not even going to be able to do that. So now I have to go against my anality, my analness. Let's not use this word anymore. Because the doggone girl is mine. Whoppa, whoppa, whoppa. Okay, instead of, yeah, there we go. You know what I was about to say. Oh, God. You know, sometimes you just leave well enough alone. All right, so now that I've made that all thick, let me go back through here, kind of thicken that up. Okay, walk away, Carol, walk away. All right, there's one. We're gonna do this again. Okay. Do you know that as soon as I turned off the camera, I did this other one here and I rocked and rolled on that, so we'll see if we can do it again. If I can recreate that moment. Ah, here we go. We're gonna do another plant here. Ooh. Okay. So I already messed up because last time I started it from here. Okay, guys, you see, this is what happens. All right, not gonna worry about it. Here's what I did. Boink, boink. Okay. Boink, boink. Look at that. Boink, 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 boink. Okay, not too bad except for that fat end there, but let's just do something like that. Okay. All fixed. All right, so what did I do the last time? So I think I started on the outer. Yeah, I think that's what I did. All right, so then we're gonna go back through there, the other direction, just to fill in the little faded parts. No, 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 she's mine. Híjole. I don't even know where I got that from either. Is that a Mexican thing? I pick up things from all my brothers and sisters. Yeah, the doggone girl is mine. No, 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 she's mine. Yeah, this one's a little different. It's okay though. It is okay. Because we're just gonna keep it going and keep it going. All right. Alrighty. I really like that green. As much as I fought with it, I really, really like that green. I don't know what to do. I don't know if I want to add the holly-ish thing or if I want to just do this other one that I'm thinking about, which I think would go really well with it. All right. I'm just going to go with the little berries that I was thinking about doing. And my candy cane does not stick out enough, does it? It sure doesn't. You can't even really tell it's a candy cane, can you? I mean, you can, but it's just hiding in there. I'm going to take some of this green, and I'm going to mix it with some of that blue I made earlier, just so it's a little different than the actual plant. And then we're going to go in and we're going to paint the candy cane just a little darker so it can stand out a little more. Here we go. I'll flip this over. Because the doggone girl is mine. You see? Now you can see it. That's what I'm talking about. La, da, 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 da. That is much better. I'm going to give the green leaves a little time to dry before I go over it and make the berries that I want to make, these little stems with berries coming out of there. And once I do that, then we'll go ahead and make the final touches over everything. So, oh, and then I'll add my little shoelaces everywhere. Well, you'll see, you'll see. And I am back after drying off my green leaves, mostly. So I'm taking some of this pink that I had left over. Ooh, it's starting to dry. And I added a little brown to it, but that's okay. I don't need that much of it. I just don't like to waste a lot of paint. But anyway, I'm just trying to make kind of a darker pink for the stems. I'm not trying to go totally green on this. I'm not trying to go green on this at all. I'm going for more of a brownish. Actually, I'm gonna add a little bit more brown. This one's gonna go over the green. And then I'm going to go make the berries pretty dark pink, I think. You know, kind of orangey. Okay. Am I nervous? Yes, I am nervous. All right, here we go. We're going to make some random stems coming off of here. I almost feel like I needed to make this thinner. Yeah. I'm going to go in with a thinner brush now because it's never too late. Lies, lies, lies. It is sometimes. But in this case, I'm going to say we're good. And I'm not going to cover up too much of the green on this one, but I'm going to let it come off this side over here. I don't want a lot for Christmas. This is so... You know, I never know the words to the songs unless I'm actually singing it, like unless it's actually on. So don't come for me, Argentina. I got brown on my hands, so I'm gonna be careful. Don't cry for me, Argentina. Oh yeah, I forgot. No whistling. Just kidding. I can whistle if I want. Whistle while you work. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Whistle while you work. La da 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 dee. Ready. So let's see. I'm gonna do that because it just hit me that I can add more off of the smaller stems. Okay, one more. Ooh. Okay, and we're gonna add one more right here. Whistle while you work. La-dee-dee-dee. It's always like so scary to paint over things that you took time to paint in the first place. Makes you feel kind of weird. But it's all good. Just keep going. All right. I survived that. Now I think I'm going to take some of the pink that I had. I'm going to add some red to it. We'll see how this goes. And we're almost done. I added a pea size of red. I'll take this brushy. I'm gonna make this pretty pink. Oh, add a little bit of that brown in there. Kind of like berry pink, okay? Like strawberry pink. Like strawberry shortcake pink. Ooh, cute pink. Super cute. Okay, this brush is scaring me. I think I need a smaller brush. All right, let's go with this one. As I was making that circle, it just seemed like it wanted to do its own thing. Do 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 do. So if like by now you can tell, I like to kind of just use the same colors. I can just change them up just a little bit. That way it's like all in the same family. Whew, that was close. I would say keep the brush short for these little circles here. So I'm going to get another brush. Because the longer it is, the more it like swings around. There we go. There we go. Now I have way more control. Oh yeah. Way more control. I'm leaving a little texture on there because I think it's cute. I'll come back because you can see a little green through there, so I'm going to come back after that dries up just a smidge. Take a smaller one there so it doesn't run into the other one. La da 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 dee dee dee. Jingle bell, jingle bell rock. La da da dee 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 dee. La da 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 da. La da 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 da. Jingle bell time is a swell time to rock those blues away. I don't know if those are the words. Jingle bell time is a definitely gonna have to come back over the ones that are over the green. But we knew that already. We didn't need anybody to tell us that, did we? Jingle bell time is a swell time to rock those blues away. Nice. Okay, I'm liking it. So far, so good. Right, we're gonna let that dry so that we can go back over the berries. Yeah, especially the berries that are over the green. So, before my battery runs out, we're gonna try to get this finished. And we're just gonna finish up with some white. So I'm gonna put about a quarter size on here, and that should get me through to the end of this painting. So let's see. One of the big things that I wanna do is create a shoelace, but I'm gonna wait on that because some of these are still a little damp. So what I'm gonna do is just go in and start making my highlights actually. And then we'll do the shoelace at the end, just in case it goes over. So I'm gonna take a little flat brush actually, and I'm just barely gonna get some white on there. And I'm gonna start off at the edge of this, the heel of this shoe, and I'm just gonna bring it in. So remember, I always start off very little and then I say, what else? Like, should I start off with a little bit and then I add more as need be. So I'm adding just a little bit of a highlight there to give dimension, just to show that it's like not just a flat surface. We're gonna do the same thing here. I'm just gonna do some streaks of white. You can barely see it, so I'm gonna go a little heavier with it. There we go. There we go. So I like to kind of bring it in from the corner edges and stuff, you know, and not necessarily, just do streaks. Just streaks here and there. Go from here. Da, 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 da. Do some streaks here and there. Okay. Do the same thing on top. Remember how I said I kind of wanted to like outline this in white in the beginning? I do, and I'm just gonna add little curved lines there just to show roundness. It's very light, and like I said, I'll go back in if I need to. Okay, there we go. Little light streaks here and there. Just to show reflections. I'm letting my brush just kind of fade away and become dry as I do this, just because I don't want to overload it, right? So I'm gonna do the same thing on top, and around here, let's see, we're gonna add a little bit. Let's see, we're gonna kind of outline that like I had mentioned. Be careful with these random hairs that sometimes these brushes have. I'm going to add streaks instead. I like the streaks better. Okay. So we'll do the same thing with the top, and also we're going to start doing a little bit with the plants. But I'm going to use a different brush for that. Let's see. I'm going to go in with kind of a short, small brush for the leaves. We're just going to go like on the outer edges. There we go. And hickory dock will be coming down the chimney. I'm gonna do like that. Yep. You know, it's not like it's a perfect, like it makes total sense or anything, you know, but what I'm trying to, I guess, convey here with these highlights is that the light is kind of coming from this direction. Like I said, I know I've got it kind of going all over the place on this, but, you know, I am doing my best, okay? So we're going to put the light on top here. So this is basically light. Okay. Very little here. Just adding a little dimension. Here and there, a little more here and there. And just keep going, even though you think, oh, what am I doing? Right? Just keep going. I encourage you. Just keep going. All right, cool. We'll be coming down the chimney. Adding a little highlight to the top. Some of these are kind of wet, so I'm going to stay off of that for a little bit. I'm going to turn this around. Dun, dun, dun. Be careful with paint on your hands. All right, let's see. So, doesn't have to be uniform, okay? Like you don't have to put everything in the exact same spot as the others. Just play with it a little bit. Add it here and there. It's all good. Okay. Let's see if I can go over some of these pink ones. These little berries. Lots of goodies for you and for me. All right, so cool. We're gonna go back in there now with the flat brush, and we're gonna go here. And we're gonna kind of highlight the edges. So, And then basically, I don't mind just swiping it in from those edges, okay? Kind of showing a rounder edge. There we go. Make it random. Okay, same thing over here. Such a light pink that I am okay with outlining this. Okay. We're just gonna do our best, do our best. Da 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 da. Do our best, do our best. There we go, some reflections off of there. And you know what? It's time to add the shoelace. I'm gonna go in kind of thick with this one. Okay. Am I scared? A little bit. Do I care? A little bit. So we're gonna make this one go here. All right. Okay. Obviously, it faded out. So that's when that was just kind of our guideline, right? So now we're gonna go in and make it thicker and go over that line. Ooh, I'm loving it. I'm gonna make this as white as can be. Okay, and so as that dries up a little bit, we'll go back over it and make it even whiter. Okay, so that's one shoelace, and we want the other one. Let's do like that. Don't overthink it. Lots of goodies for you and for me. Which way did it go? Which way did it go? All right, so we're gonna let that dry. We're gonna come back to it. And we're gonna do this one. And we're just gonna pick a spot. Don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. Just do it. Just do it. Where's the other one gonna go? I'm gonna go crazy with it. No, I'm not. Okay, let's see. We got this one going there. Maybe, what if we had it? No, I don't know. Don't overthink it, Carol. Let's just have it fall down here. Whoop. Fwapati. So lots of goodies for you and for me. Da, 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 da. We'll be coming down the chimney. Right, we're almost done. We're almost done. We'll be coming down the chimney. Let's flip it over and go back over the other way. And if you're more of a make sense kind of painter, you can figure out where those shoelaces really would come from. Like maybe you can just make it come out of one of these holes instead of the way that I did it. But that's up to you. It's your painting, not mine. You know, really you could make this all go in if you wanted to. I'm gonna leave mine the way it is for now because all my colors, I've thrown away all my colors. But you could definitely bring this in, like they're coming out from here. But in my case, they're coming from the other side, right? So there's more fluff somewhere on the other side. It's not perfect, and I'm okay with that. Or am I? Or am I? Loop-de-loop. Okay. About to call it a day. I'm about to call it a day. And it's so, and they call it puppy love. All right, let's see. I'm just going to add a little bit of highlight in there. Don't go crazy. Just a little bit here and there. Kind of a dry, kind of a dry brush. All right, don't go crazy. Don't go crazy. Or do. Or you might already be crazy. In which case, you do you. And they call it puppy love. I think I'm done. Okay. last thing I want to do is go back with the white and just make these little eye holes, eyelet holes, just a little more white. I like a pop, 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 pop. And they call it puppy love. Don't mess it up, girl. Don't mess it up, girl. Yikes. I should flip this over and not take my chances. But I take my chances all of the time. Remember, I'm doing the shoelace over, I'm going over the shoelace because the shoelace is coming out of the little eyelets. So I like to do that. I want to go over it. Okay, I'm finished. I am done. All right, let's see what this looks like. Let's see. Let's just see. Oh, Christmas tree, oh, Christmas tree. Okay. And that's that.